St. Mary's did not make it in. Boston College did not make it in, but we expected that. Perhaps much more surprising, once again, Virginia Tech, Seth Greenberg and the Hokies are left out again. Colorado, with all of those top 50 wins, they're out, and Alabama becomes the second team from a Power 6 conference to win 12 conference games and not make the field. Arizona State was the other one. That happened to the Sun Devils last year, and now Alabama is the second one to do so. Now, look, anytime you start putting up teams and put snubs around them, you have to take somebody out. So out of that group you just saw that didn't get in, St. Mary's, Colorado, Virginia Tech, Alabama, BC, who do you think, Digger, should have been in at whose expense?
Well, I really think when we're talking about VCU and what went on there in their scenario, Colorado, to me, is still a mystery. They played their best in the Big 12. They swept Kansas State 3 times. Kansas State's got a chance to get to the Final Four. And also they knocked off, when you look at Missouri. And when you take a look at how they played all year long, I thought that Colorado, to me, why are they so good? You got Corey Higgins, who's 6'4", that can play anywhere and make things happen on the perimeter. You got Alex Burke, who's capable of getting 30 against you in the paint. So they got the balance on offense and they got the balance on defense. Colorado shocks me, Hubert.
Against UAB and against VCU, all those teams have a better resume. Yep. Then you can make a case for all those teams to replace UAB. I mentioned before, UAB, the second team out of Conference USA, played one ranked opponent, and that was Duke, and they lost. When you look at the remaining teams, St. Mary, they beat St. John's and Gonzaga. Boston College played well in ACC, 0-3 versus UNC and Duke. But you look at Virginia Tech. This is a team that beat Duke, beat Penn State. Colorado beat 4 ranked opponents. They played 8 ranked opponents and beat 4 of them. And then Alabama was #1 in the SEC West. The thing they had to do was be above 500 in the SEC East, and they were. Beating Kentucky and Tennessee, you can make a strong argument, eye test, RPI, strength of schedule, whatever. Not the RPI, strength of schedule, but any way you look at it, those teams can make a case going in and ahead of UAB.
I've seen UAB play. I've seen VCU play. All right, I've looked at all the numbers, not that that matters. All of the teams on that screen, the sort of the snub list, the quote-unquote snub list, should have gotten in before those two. All of them. And there was a reason why none of us brought up UAB and VCU as having a chance to get in. It's because they had no chance to get in.
Yeah. And then
the committee has gone against their own principles. Yeah. They've never done anything like this before, and there's a reason. Now, here's where I'll give them a pass, and where I'd say, you know what, that's okay. If the committee comes out, whatever voice, if it's through Gene Smith, comes out and says, you know what, this is a really weak field. And because it's a weak field, we decided to reward the weakness of a mid-major rather than the weakness of a major. We expected more out of the majors and we didn't get it. So we gave it to these guys. That's cool with me. That's a good reason. I'm fine with that. If they want to say these teams are better, VCU and UAB are better, you're like, no way. Not only did they've not proven it in any way, shape, or form. And the two teams that I would say should have gotten in first would be Virginia Tech and then what Digger says is Colorado. Now you can make a reasonable argument for St. Mary's and for Alabama and all that. All those teams should have gotten in before UAB and VCU. All of them.
Let's look at the politics of this, okay? Right now, we've got 30 of the Big 6 conferences getting, of the 37 at-larges, 30 going to the big guys, 7 going to the mid-majors, so to speak. If they took 2 away and added 2 more, that would have been 32-5. And I think everybody got, why'd we expand to 68 if we can't get these other schools in? And believe me, that's part of this reason I see that doesn't make sense to me.
What message are they trying to send? Like they're always saying, we send messages. Play better people. Accomplish this. Yeah. Win.
Right.
Who'd you play? Who'd you beat? All this stuff. What message are they trying to send on this one?